সেই মারাত্মক যুদ্ধ ফেরত আসছে তোমার ক্যাম্পাসে। নতুন যোদ্ধাদের সাথে আরো লড়াই এবং আরো উত্তেজনার সাথে বিশাল পুরস্কার মূল্য 30,000 USD। প্যাক করো তোমার গেমিং ব্যাগ, প্রস্তুত করো তোমার বন্ধুদের।
Hello and welcome. Finally, it is time to step into the finals, and it is, of course, PUBG Mobile Campus Championship where we're at for the Bangladesh region. It is a huge thanks to OPPO F19 Pro for making it all happen. I'm going to be, well, your caster, your host, to join on none other than Trooper. And dude, how are you doing? How excited are you for these finals now?
Really happy to sit up after the break completely, and I'm really excited. This is the finals, and we were so excited during the semi-final stage, brother. Final it is now, and I can't be more excited for this. We have seen these teams ride for the better half of the last month, and now here they are, the finals, the epitome, the last and final step. Who is going to be the crown, the campus championship from the region of Bangladesh? That is what we are here for.
Boy, oh boy, and it could not have been a better stage because we've got so many incredible teams trying to fight for the money on the line, which is, of course, going to be $30,000 on the line, which is the entire saga of the prize pool. But of course, that is broken down when you talk about the first place holder on the overall standing. It will be a team that will walk away with 10 grand. Yeesh, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, dude. Again, gotta keep in mind, we are talking about campus championship. These lads are just starting their life journey, their saga, their awesomeness, right? But here they are. One of the teams is going to be walking away, Trooper, with the 10 grand in their bank.
Definitely, that is a staggering amount at this age when they are going to get it. What an ultimate start it could be for their esports journey. It's an exciting thing to win that kind of an amount at that age, to be honest. But look at that. Not only that, there are other teams. Even $5,000 is by no means a low amount, right? Then at the third place, we have $3,200 that the team is going to get away with. The important thing is $500 for the MVP. Just one lad taking away $500 for himself, being the MVP of the tournament. But that is all going to be decided by this point system, which has been constant for the round of 128, 64, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and after this now here at the final stage. First place, you get 15 points, second 12, third 10, fourth you get 8, fifth you get 6, 4, 2, 1, 0 for the remaining. 8 to 12 you get 1, 13 to 16 you get none, and the kill points, the all important kill points. We have been talking about this a lot. 1 kill, 1 point per kill, that is it. And I would not like to see teams missing out on those opportunities. Teams that are going to finish in the 13th to 16th or even in the 18th to 12th positionings, I would not like to see them miss out on that opportunity of getting those skill points here.
Exactly. With that, having a look at these final teams who are going to be stepping into the arena, into the Battlegrounds, it is going to be, of course, we've got Bad Intentions, Future Station, Martyrs 1971, X Brothers made it. We also have Phantom. We have Phantom Esports that barely, survived, but were able to clutch that wonderful game for themselves and get themselves, into the top 16. So a lot of interesting teams that we've got here. We've got Mercenaries. No, we do not, sadly. Also talk about teams that I would have loved to have seen, right? Because we do know that there were teams who were trying their level best. There was Envious that initially, when the entire journey started, SEL Envious, that was looking pretty interesting, but sadly have not been able to make it to the top 16. So it was a fierce competition.
A lot of teams, brother, to be honest, a lot of teams that we are going to miss out but from the semi-final stage. But yes, that is how the things go. There were only 16 slots and these teams made it, clutched on to the moment. As you said, Martyrs 1971, Bad Intentions, it looked difficult for them at a point, but they are here now. So we'll see what they do. But the schedule for the day, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Erangel, Miramar, Erangel, Sanok, and back to Erangel. So 3 important Erangel games. So these teams need to make sure that they bag in as much points and they are as good in Erangel. That is going to matter a lot for them because only just one match in Miramar, one game in Sanok per day, that is an off map in the context of the scenario right now. So they really need to concentrate on what they are going to do in Erangel.
Exactly, because after all, when you talk about, 3 Erangel games in a day, when it comes to the grand finals day one itself for the campus championship, you are talking about how dynamic the approach from these teams is going to be, or rather how versatile they are going to actually have to be, because they cannot just jump into the same game with that first arena competition with that same mindset, but move that down towards the viewers. This is where, of course, when it comes to the game of PUBG Mobile, you know for a fact that this is always a saga. It's not only the teams that are playing that will be winning, but the viewers as well. And the wins couldn't have gotten any better, where indeed everybody who's going to be joining in from the servers of South Asia between May 21st to 6th June. So again, those of you who are here on stream, do let your friends know that we've only got 3 days counting today. 3 days remain to get your points working towards you. You need to play a minimum of 20 minutes, maximum of 100 minutes overall, right? And eventually you could be a part of all of these wonderful medals. And even if you do end up collecting all 120 medals, you could walk away with the PMCC frame, which is right there, a permanent thing that you can add on to your collection.
Wow, that is an amazing thing, right? Towards that right corner, that has got my complete attention over there. That orange mark over there, permanent written over there, that is what I was looking at constantly. PMCC frame, you can get it. You just need to log into the game, make sure that you get all the medals that you can possibly get, and make that frame yours. That has got to be the target for now for you guys. And make sure you enjoy these matches, support your teams who are going to play here. These top 16 teams, they have worked their way here. They've worked really hard. They have proved themselves again and again in different stages of this tournament, and now they are going to be here. Remember, a lot of teams like KSX, the way they outshine completely during the semi-final stage. We've heard a lot of myth about them that they do not outshine. I was working with these. I was talking to the Bengali casters, and they told me that they're always good till the semi-final stage, but when it comes to the finals, it's something that happens to them. Whoa. So maybe that is something we will watch out here. What happens to KSX out here? We'll see what happens. How are they going? Are they going to cancel the, what do you call it?
The streak, so to say?
The streak, maybe the bad streak for them, maybe. But all the best to KSX, and congratulations for them for topping during the semi-final stage. We have Future Station that has sort of made a comeback after a very long break in the semi-final stage, right? They were not looking that impressive during the quarterfinals, but during the semi-final, they were almost on top of the chart. So these teams, they are going to take this show to the next level, the competition to the next level.
They most certainly are going to try their level best to do so, and they better showcase that, because again, when you talk about the best of the best teams, we of course do have Future Station, we also have Venom Legends, right? So when you talk about Venom Legends' final few days gameplay, it did kind of talk about them approaching the game almost taking a backseat, right? We had earlier seen them in the competition itself, in the semi-final itself, that they started off, collected so many wonderful points for themselves, and then they got that lead secured for them, right? After which they just hunkered down, they put on their medals and their coats, and they were like, all right, so we know that we are going to be part of the top 16. Let's just take a chill pill approach. That's what we saw them. Even though when it came down to games that they should have been able to get the chicken dinner, they were not, they were looking pretty comfortable. Don't get me wrong, viewers. They were looking pretty comfortable. They were getting the kills, but they were not their ferociousness that they've showcased. The bitiness that the Venom stings basically with is something that I did see a little bit lacking, but that maybe was just based on the fact that they got that lead confirmed for them. They were going to be part of the finals, and now that they are here, right, now that Future Station is here, now that 1952 is here, this is where these teams are now going to have to just go back into that aggression and domination streak and just move on along with that force throughout the entire lobby. Because these games, earlier we were talking about just 4 games. Now we have 5, of which 3 of them are on Erangel. So that does kind of complicate things, because you do know that these are really known teams. Talk about KSX, talk about Venom Legends, talk about A1, talk about 1952. So when it comes to drop locations, right, that's where the versatility, the dynamic approach to the game is going to be putting these teams in the corner. Maybe we shall have to see how the other teams have what sort of an approach are they bringing. Have they done their homework? Because that's another conversation to get into, Trooper, I think. Yes, we have been talking about Venom Legends and all of these, but talking about the other teams, what do you think are they going to be bringing to the table? Because again, X Brothers, just to get started, maybe X Brothers.
Sure, X Brothers. But before we get to X Brothers, you picked up two names also there in the list. That was 1952 and A1 Esports. No conversation in Bangladesh region could be complete without these two teams, right? So 1952, they had this amazing, dramatic entry into the finals, right? They were almost kind of looking to miss out. They have a very big tournament upcoming just a few weeks from now, and they are preparing for it. And now look at this. We are right away straight into the first game, guys. This is the finals taking off here for the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship Bangladesh 2021. $30,000 on the line, and the playing path of the first match, the all-important first game from Miltapawa towards the western edge, towards the western beach of Katka. That is what we see here, completely bisecting the map almost into half. So the teams are going to have a good access to almost all the cities. It's going to be difficult for teams that wants to go towards 70, but we'll find out that pretty soon. Where are these lads going to go? Even Yasnaya is in range. So let's see where the teams are looking to go, because daughter, I'll bring this attention to you. I'll bring this fact to your attention that these teams, this lobby of 16 exact, is the first time that they are going to play in all these maps. So there's always that element of surprise. You need to do that homework. Where are the drops that you can go? Because they are played in different groups, but not this exact 16 teams before.
That is so true, Trooper. And with that, we've got the first circle coming on along. The first zone has been cut on this first game of the finals in the Bangladesh Region Campus Championship. And it is looking down towards this region, which is going to be, well, Yasnaya looking pretty comfortable. As of now, Rozok looking pretty comfortable. So is Lipovka, and Shelter being the center, with Milta and Milta Power also being part of the circle for now. So that is going to be the approach that is going to work out for so many of these teams, apart from just a few names, few known names actually, because we do have 1952 going back to their known drop location. That's going to be down to the Ferry Pier. And then we did have a couple of more teams that moved on down towards the western side of the map. But overall, it is a good start. It is a decent start, because after all, you did mention it so perfectly that yes, when it comes down to the first game itself, it was the flight path that dissected the entire game from between, the entire map from between, and that is going to be allowing the teams to make that approach. But now we do know it is PUBG Mobile, and every single time when there's a curveball, it is in the name of the circle and the zone. And what do you know? Well, we've got circle asking these teams that moved on down towards the western side to jump and get their rotations already acclimated, because they are going to have to be gunning towards the Milta region maybe, or we'll see exactly where the first circle will push on towards. Now, talking about Infernal Parasites. Now, this team, IPG, this has been a ferocious team. No two ways about it, because the way they approached the games, it was just absolutely phenomenal. They finished on the 12th in the overall when it came down to the semi-final, and thus they are here with 50 placement points and 25 kills is what they got. So every single time we saw this team get into a fight, they were just absolutely decimating the lobby, and they were so very close and consistent as well when it came down to being on the top 3 to the top 5 position. So a contender, most certainly this team is going to be. Another contender is going to be KSX. Now, one thing that we always used to see, but this time around I did not, because I hope that all 64 players are going to be in the lobby, and that's exactly the case. So we don't have any team, that seems to have a backbencher, so to say, to get our day started.
Definitely, and all these teams that you already mentioned, brother, they are amazing. But there are a few teams I'd like to mention more, other than KSX, Infernal Parasites. These have been teams that have been impressing us for a very good amount of time during the semi-finals. Match after match, they proved themselves. They were looking good, but the slates are clean now completely. Let's see what they're going to do in the finals. But what makes me happy is to see teams like ABC and BSQ. Matt Cat is here. He's got this opportunity to play these finals. He's been one of the finds of the tournament, and we have teams like Bad Intentions, right? And I was so happy to see them qualify. At one stage, I definitely thought that 84 point is not going to be enough for them to make it to the finals, but it's good for them that 84 was enough, and I think the cutoff was around round. For X Brothers, it was for 81. So 84 was good enough for both Martyrs 1971 and Bad Intentions. But Bad Intentions is a team that really needs to come up at this stage. These matches are so important for them because this is the first time I believe they're playing at this level, and they really need to prove themselves because there have been a lot of talk about them, how good they are, how good they can be. But can you become the heroes? This is where the question is. 1952 won it the last time. They were the champions out of the last. They are the defending champions. They're also playing here. So you know the importance of winning in a region, right? In a region, right? Look at where these lads have gone up to. They're going to play the regional finals of the PMPL pretty soon in the upcoming weeks now. So can we have another winner? Can we have an underdog team that is grinding themselves inside the shadows? And that is the beauty of this competition, this campus championship tournament. All these teams that have been grinding themselves for so long, they get this opportunity to convert their dreams into reality, to convert their esports journey into that big reality that they really want to. So is it possible for a new team to come up? Speaking of this new team, I am really excited how Team ABC and NBSQ is going to play. And really, this team is amazing with that special lad Matt Cat out there.
That is so true. With 71 kills that they got during the semi-finals and 3 chicken dinners to this team. This is again a ferocious team that is part of this lobby. And again, I mean, as you were mentioning, I would like to point out another thing when it came down to Bad Intentions gameplay altogether itself. They are part of this entire lobby. Martyrs 1971 as well, part of the lobby, but without a chicken dinner. With that, it is none other than ABC's Matt Cat, who is going to be starting the barrage towards NRZ's players, and that was on point. There is a little bit of damage. In fact, of course, when it came down to the buggy itself, I'm 100% certain that the buggy did get a lot of damage through this, and eventually now the entirety of the team of ABCX and BX is going to try and push on along towards that compound. If they... No. For now, the game has just begun, and again, they do not really want to get into those early fights from the looks of it. We're talking about... And so they are looking pretty comfortable as they are getting their medkits and healths and everything sorted all along as they move on down towards a compound that seems to be very close to Bots and Pajamas for the moment. But again, for now, all the teams are trying to get their rotations, and these are teams once again that are what do we have here? It is once again none other than ABC's player, and it is Raka on the killing spree with A1 Sinister sadly going down.
Who else to be the first blood, ladies and gentlemen? It's going to break a lot of hearts in the region, but it's got to be the perfect start for the PMCC for me, because even esports already, they've lost the first player. Let's see how they're going to come back. Sinister, their all-important Sinister, is out in this opening game. Now it's down to Dante, Jax, and 6ix9ine. How are they going to react to the situation? Caught inside the rotation, ABC NBSQ gets the first blood, eliminates Sinister out of the game. But no, this team is not going to go down that easily. We know it. The fans for A1 Esports know it. How are they going to come back? The perfect start for a tournament for the fans. A1 Esports, they always come back. They always know how to come back. Let's see if they are going to start it from the word go in this final stage or not.
Absolutely. I mean, again, one thing that we ought to talk about is going to be the placement of ABC's players right there. You know, they were right behind that, or rather north of Shelter, I think is where they were when it came down to the placement on the map. But eventually, the way they hunkered down behind that hill, that was so perfect, because there was a road that so many of the teams we did see try and get some rotations through. And then there was a perfect hill that was covered as well, which resulted in them not being able to, or rather them not getting spotted. But with that, it is going to be Venom Legends team that is going to be barraging down the players of X Brothers. Sadly, one player has been sent back into the lobby from the side of X Brothers. In doing so, Venom Legends did end up revealing their position, and NRZ have brought one of their players, one of Venom Legends players knocked. But eventually that's okay, because all the players are together, are very much around, and will be able to get the revival alongside all of this. When you talk about late rotations, move the conversation and move your eyeballs towards Primorsk, where we have TRZ players still chilling in the area, going to be making a really late rotation into this game.
Yep, and TRZ, NRZ, these have been two teams really to watch out for as well. TRZ were outstanding during the semi-final stage. NRZ was also performing really good. They made sure they cemented their point earlier. But this late strategy coming from TRZ, we have seen that in the past as well, right, Blotter? This is a team that got 7 chicken out of 10 inside that stage of the quarterfinal that they were playing. So we know that they rotated late up till the starting 14 to 15 minutes. The TRZ team is completely absent from the scene, and they know somehow to sneak inside with the 4 players inside the final circle. That has been a strategy for TRZ. So I'm not really surprised with that late rotation in the second zone. But we'll see how is that going to work in this lobby, because it did really work in their favor inside the quarterfinals, but it was not so fruitful during the semi-final stage. So we saw them change their strategy a bit during the semi-final stage. They were sort of taking up some fights in the early mid-game as well, but coming at the start of this finals, they are going back to their basics, and that is something what I like from TRZ. They are trying to execute what they know is best for them and what has worked for them in the past. But we'll see if that is going to be the case in this lobby or not. For now, it's not been a silent start to the finals, and I'm really happy to see this from the Bangladesh region, because I remember the early half when the tournament started during the round of 128. Me and all the other casters, we were sort of disappointed with the way the lads were looking to go for a very, very casual approach, and they were not looking to get into any fights. But this has not been the case here inside this game. We have seen people set themselves to cut off rotations. They got one player. We saw ABC get one player from A1 Esports. We have seen people go in early, take in the good compounds at the right time, and now they're trying to control the second circle as well.
Absolutely. With that, we do have Venom Legends player right here, Rafith, who is out all a bit too extended, but eventually does get himself back into the safety of the compound, because right there seemed a bit of a tricky situation as he had ABC in his crosshairs, but right behind his positioning was the players, or still are the players of NRZ. And this is once again that blood triangle, the love triangle that I love to call it, when it comes down to the placement of ABC, Venom, as well as NRZ's players for the moment. Talking about the circle, they are very much in the circle, so now it is only going to be based on the conversation as to who will try and over aggress, and it is none other than Venom Legends trying to do so. They've already got that one kill, and that was X-Brothers player that was knocked and sent back into the lobby, and now Rafith has got his crosshairs moving towards Team IR, another phenomenally ferocious team that we do know of, but they are also in the open, and it is none other than Venoms who are in the center.
Look at this, Blotter. This is just the second circle closing in. This is the center half of the map. How the teams are placing themselves strategically like a chess game. It's an amazing sight to see coming in from this level of from these teams of Bangladesh. This is the A game coming in, right? These are the best teams of the region, and they are putting it with the game that they are showing right now. All the teams going for the center. That is the meta, how you start an all-important finale game, and that is exactly what I love about these teams. They are doing and executing the correct thing right now. Look at that concentration towards the center. Only TRZ going for the edges. That's their strategy that has worked for them. But this shift of zone, it's almost towards from the side where TRZ is entering, just towards the edge of the potato hill. A1 Esports, all importantly, are going to find themselves towards the center of the zone, and there are a lot of other teams that are finding themselves near the center. They are going to be safe. They do not have to rotate. But some other teams, they're already on their way. Look at Infernal Parasites. They're already on their way towards the next zone. They're inside rotations, and it is going to get interesting from this point onwards. Are there going to be some casualties inside this rotation for the third circle or not?
Well, for a fact that there will be. That there certainly will be a lot of casualties, a lot of lead being barraged on across. And right here, we do have Eccentrics players from the looks of it, trying to push on to the players of A1 Esports. And that is going to be a sad state of affair, my mate, because Thunder has been brought down, has been knocked thanks to Jax, and now is going to be able to confirm that kill with a perfect nade. And that is going to hopefully bring him that point that he so very much needs. Now, talking about these players, they do have the center of the circle. That's going to be A1 Esports' positioning and the compound, but eventually there is Future Station right next to them as well, and that is something that Future Station will maybe try and push along. That compound is maybe one of those places that they will certainly want to get into. But talking about the kill that we were just mentioning, it is A1 Esports player who was able to confirm that kill, and now they're sitting themselves at a comfortable 2 defeats, so that is working for them. Now Eccentric, why did you have to push all alone by your lonesome is something that that is certainly going to be one of those ouch moments for them for the day. But that's again absolutely fine. It's just start of the day, you know. As it starts off, things are not always going to go in your favor, but that's a-okay. But look at TRZ in the kill feed as they enter into the zone. It is none other than Atomic from TRZ, who seems to be bringing down Thunders and is certainly trying to get those kills in towards him.
And I would like to add on to what you said about Eccentric Infinity Blotter. At the start of this, at this stage, there are a few nerves that these lads, these are young lads, right? They're overcharged a bit, they're overworked up a bit. They want to do things and they want to execute them, so they become a little optimistic with that as well. So with that move from Eccentric Infinity with Thunder going into that compound, I think that was a bit of a mistake that he did. Moving inside any compound without information is not something you would like to do at this stage, and that was not a good result for Eccentric Infinity. But luckily for them as well, they have still got 3 lads to play with, but there have been some other casualties as well. Watson Pajamas look to have lost a teammate as well. TRZ has bagged in a point for themselves. So a lot of action that is erupting with this shaping in of the third circle. Now the fourth circle is going to be. So you see a little bit of panic inside. Look at this. This is the third circle. People already making covers with their vehicles. They're looking to hold on to the centers. It's an amazing scene to see. As a gaming enthusiast, I'm just loving how these players are going to go for that textbook style. They want to stay towards the center. They do not want to make rotations towards the end game, but the zone is going to play games with them. Another shift, a slightly center shift, but look at where most of the teams were. Only ABC is going to find themselves inside the zone. On the northern edge, it's going to be Future Station, but panic for the rest of the teams, and that is how you see these teams going to another rotation. They don't want to miss out. They don't want to end up on without having any positioning points, and that is what is making them move so quickly early inside these zones.
Absolutely right. Here we come back towards the players of Eccentric once again. We did see TRZ's players once again. They were making a really late rotation, but they seem to be gunning down towards the center of the zone. Right here we have Drave bringing in action and domination from the side of Future Station. So once again, the fights have already begun. No two ways about it as the conversation moves on along towards the players that are still outside and are trying to gatekeep the teams that are in the zone and outside the zone. This is where the conversation is, where NRZ's players, they are 140 meters away, but they are bringing those leads towards the players of BI. And again, I mean, being on top of the hill, you have smoke, yes, but eventually, this is not the kind of conversation you want to be in.
Exactly, but I'm really not happy with what Bad Intentions is doing here, because look at this. The zone has just started closing in, right? There's a lot of time for teams to put pressure on you if you're taking that heighted position. At this point, they could have just tried to settle on under the hill, maybe in some different angle by creating some space for themselves. And when the zone was really almost like 80% closed in, then they could have come to the height and tried to cut in rotations. There is a good intention. They want to take the height, but you need to realize, but when you're taking an edge, you cannot be at the height when the zone has just started closing in, because the other teams at that point are looking to clear their way. And what better way to clear the way when they have someone at the height? They're going to shoot at you, and that is exactly what is happening with Bad Intentions. They're using a lot of utility out there, using up a lot of smokes to survive, and which is not good for them, because they need these utilities in the end game as well. But right now, coming back to the northern edge, where a lot of action is developing, where most of the teams are clustering in. Martius 1971 is there. We see Future Station holding up inside those ditches for a very long time. Let's see how they are going to pose up and how. But look at that, exactly. They were holding up for so long. Now Infernal Parasites, they got hold of Evil Eye. He has been eliminated from the game. But Martius 1971 also coming in with the third party, hurting them. So a lot of action developing over these northern sides of the zone right now.
Well, there is a lot of kills being circulated all across the lobby as of now, but we still do have all 16 teams alive, even though there might be one player. Caster's curse coming right in, as we do have Bad Intention and their bad placement ruining their positioning. They are the 15th, or rather, my apologies, 16th to be sent back into the lobby, and well, I don't think they even got that point, sadly, but move the conversation into the game itself, where we have this perfect placement from Venom Legends, and it is against none other than Team IR. A lot of nades being circulated between these two teams. The only thing separating them is the McLaren for now.
That amazing McLaren, that amazing ride. And IR is also a team to watch out for, Blood. I remember when we ended the semi-final stage, these were the two teams I was most excited about. IR, the way they completed and their matches in the semi-finals, and look how closely they're playing together as a team, deploying necessary smokes and utilities. And this is an all-important fight, because this is none other than Venom Legends, one of the strongholds from the region, hurting them. Look at that brilliant knock, that beautiful use of the DP gun from Steel Shot. He's killed the long range first, and that is so important. We see that as a voice command as well inside the game. But now IR making their move, closing in, switching to the NTP mode, going through the smoke, trying to hurt Venom Legends. Steel Shot is down there, but another player of IR goes down. This is not looking for Venom Legends, and they have been eliminated by Team R on the 15th position with just one kill on their name.
Ouch moment coming in for the side of Venom Legends again. I mean, as you brought this conversation down towards the zone itself, right? The zone is the one that always does bring in curveballs, and it is not looking too good for so many of these teams, as they all have been pushed out into the open. And being out of the open, you know for a fact, is not the conversation you want to be able to be a part of, especially when it comes to the late game moments. Now, move the conversation towards X Brothers. We did see them losing one player, but the conversation in the kill feed is still continuing on along, because the teams are just bringing in thunder. Talk about Team IR. They've got so many kills right now. TRZ White Cat bringing in a lot of kills for themselves as well. And this is Team IR's Cube that we see, who is just running for it, who is gunning for it and trying to find himself a decent placement. But the circle is in the open. This is going to be really difficult for them to find themselves a decent ground, and that is exactly where Cube of IR will be knocked and maybe even sent back to the lobby, because A1 Esports' players have exact location of where the players are. But A1 Esports themselves are in a bit of a array, because they've got a fight on the other tangent being taken, which is 1952. Whoa. Boy, oh boy, a lot of knocks coming in too.
And in Future Station eliminated from the game at this point, something we did not expect. An early elimination. Venom Legends out of the game, Future Station out of the game. 1952 on their knees right now. Tawfiq missing out, but they're putting a very good challenge in front of Martyrs 1971. This is all happening towards the northwestern edge of the zone right now, so they have a space to play with, but not a big amount of cover to play. So that is going to be difficult, because teams like A1 Esports, they're enjoying some concrete cover. It's a very good sign for them in this game, but for how long? That is going to be my question. Is that compound going to keep them going to keep them in cover in the end zone as well? That is going to be the problem. We've got Eccentric Infinity, who are looking to make some damage here, sitting out in the open. Everywhere you look, any side, these teams are holding up and playing these maps, these terrains so beautifully. They have picked up the right cover, all the right spots have already been taken, and look at the mini map out there. Look what madness and chaos is happening over there inside that top right corner mini map. 11 teams, 32 players making a hell out of them, killing the hell out of each other.
Absolutely. When you talk about A1 Esports, they are just again and again in that kill feed as they move themselves with 7 kills. They've lost one player, they've got one player knocked, but eventually the positioning of theirs in that compound is working so perfectly for them. But as this conversation and this fight moves on along, Eccentric right here are trying to take some fights, are trying to bring in a bit of lead barrage towards Phantom's players, and they have been able to get a few knocks. Just trying to get that confirmed. That is going to be Radul from the side with a mini, looking pretty comfortable, bringing in a perfectly controlled brush right on along, but will he be able to get those kills? For now, it is Martyrs 1971 with the kill department. 3 kills to them. They've got 2 players remaining for now. They are in the zone, looking pretty ferocious. They also have their crosshairs set up towards the side of Phantom. So Phantom again and again, from the 2 different angles that we just saw, are in the crosshairs of at least 2 teams to 3 teams. They've got smokes, but for how long? How long is Phantom going to be able to keep themselves up with that sort of an approach? Because the circle is not allowing them a perfect placement as of now. Talking about Martyrs, pretty much the same conversation. They do have the cover of these buggies and the smoke, but how will that fight go on along? And in all of the fight, there is ABC all alive right here with 6 kills.
Pressure on Phantom Esports. They are doing a heal battle at the 11th position right now. 10 teams remaining, and they were doing a heal battle. At that point, 11 were remaining. So that tells you the pressure situation. Coming back towards the edge. This is the northern shift of the zone. And look at this. ABC just outside the edge, trying to clear the space inside the zone, trying to make a way sort of for themselves. Holding up to this track. Mad Cat on his way. TRZ. Oh, he goes down. Mad Cat is not going to forget this. But 1952 is eliminated in the 9th spot during this game. Raka is coming coming back from behind, and that is going to be the end for TRZ as well. They have been eliminated. Is Mad Cat going to get the revive in time? That is going to be the question for them now, because the blue zone is arriving. I don't think they should risk reviving him now, and they should sort of concentrate towards going towards the zone. He's going to become a casualty, but they already have got 8 kills in their name. This is ABC NBSQ. They're looking to make the difference. Charge from the front, right from the word go in this first game of Erangel.
They most certainly are, and right here we do have Raka, who was trying to make that rotation, but eventually it is none other than an Aziz player who's going to be able to bring him down, and eventually in that resulting has led down to so many teams being knocked. It is no joke right here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into this game's final few moments. It is 4 teams remaining. A1 Esports with 3 lads still all alive, 10 kills to that team. Eccentric has all 3 players still surviving. As they made that rotation, they do lose that 1 player to A1 Esports, but eventually it seems like their placement, their grid is right now being contested, because we've got KSX right next to them. We've got A1 Esports that is just bringing down a lot of barrage. This is not looking too good. But amongst all of this, Mati's player are just slowly sneaking across the grass. They are not giving away a lot of information, and it is FT who seems to have given away a little bit of his information towards the side of Zizo, and Zizo knows exactly what to expect from that side, from that exact region that he's looking on towards. But boy, oh boy, I mean, A1 Esports, the way this team has played there, they did have Sinister go down, the first lad, in the entire game. First kill, first blood. But now, as we move into the final moments, A1 Esports is just not wanting to stop as they bring on some more lead and barrage towards the players of KSX, and 11 kills to that team.
Maybe the first question that I ask is A1 Esports going to start making going to make the comeback right from the word go? The answer is yes. The compound has been the key for them, but now they got to move out of the compound. But they are doing it beautifully as well, taking down KSX in the process. The last kill going to Jax. That is going to be the 12th kill for A1 Esports. So it's going to be a perfect start for A1 Esports. How they've got started this campaign inside the finale of this campus championship. Martyrs 1971. They have enjoyed this shift of the zone for a very long time. They're inside the top 3. They're going to absolutely love it. But now Eccentric Infinity sort of reviving themselves behind that single smoke. I don't think that they are in a very good position, but A1 Esports, it's just like they are holding on to with their claws right now. They want to grab this chicken right in this first game inside Erangel. That tells you how they are looking to set up the tone, the pace for this entire finale of this campus championship. A1 Esports, they are looking favorite right now to get this first chicken.
Absolutely, they're looking pretty comfortable as we do move on towards the moments where all the players seem to be running out of their utilities. Not a lot of smoke being utilized from the teams that are remaining apart from A1 Esports, but bring the conversation towards, players individually. We've got Jax with 5 kills looking pretty comfortable. You've got Dante, 6ix9ine boy, who have all just been phenomenally ferocious to be able to get these many kills. A 3-man army is what we are starting off with right here, because Sinister was lost really early into this game. But now exactly conversation that will be brought down to is who will try and approach, because this is going to be the 8th zone that we've got 30 seconds, and then all these teams are going to have to push on against each other. It is just the ridge that is separating A1 Esports and the other teams from getting into a straight on lead barrage. But eventually the conversation is which team will decide to give that information away. Of course, as of now, when you talk about placements, there are a few rocks that can help C-Wine. But again, Dante has a flank angle, so does Rahul, which could make it an interesting fight between Eccentric and A1 Esports as Dante and 6ix9ine. But eventually, when you talk about Jax, he's a bit on the other side altogether. So it's going to be him taking on the players of Martyrs. But Martyrs have a cover of only the buggy. There's nothing else to cover their placement. As they move on along, as they slowly sneak their way in, it is going to be a bit of a tricky situation for Martyrs to be the second team. Let's see. This is turning into, well, not necessarily a stalemate, but oh boy, this is turning into a good fight, a good start to the finals. Really good energy from these.
Actually, I think, Blotter, this is the silence before the storm, and there was a storm earlier as well, right? Teams coming in from the southern side, ABC and BSQ getting 12 kills. From the northern side, A1 Esports getting 13 kills out here. They've made it to the final circle now. They are all silent because they've created some breathing space for themselves, all these these lads. Everyone is prone in the final circle. All these 7 lads. A1 Esports has got the number out here. Let's see. But look at that. Martius Hitman. He's been spotted. Eccentric Infinity trying to make a difference. But that is going to give the important clues to Dante. He's going to capitalize over them. But Jax has been eliminated here. He's been knocked down. But as we see, one more elimination coming in. Eccentric Infinity moved down. The last pair from Martius is the only difference. But 6ix9ine is going to complete the proceedings. And he's going to go away with this chicken dinner in the opening game in the PUBG Mobile Campus Championship Bangladesh 2021. The first game, the opening game goes to A1 Esports with 29 points.
14 kills. Seriously, 14 kills is what this team walked away with. Absolutely ferociously phenomenal start for the side of A1 Esports' players, and eventually I'm sure they're going to be really happy with this energy that they've got working in their favor. But as you talk about the other teams